Is it really possible to speak a language without the words? Now, I want to warn you very clearly here that it makes a big difference when you make a certain gesture, or if you make a certain tone, if you use a certain volume. You might not realize it until it is used upon to you. What happens to people is that when they are communicating to somebody else, they don't know how harsh they were, or their gestures sounded so rude or so aggressive. For example, if I call somebody with calling with a finger, you are the person. Now it shows so much aggression, so much negativity, or so much of power that a person is trying to direct. If you talk about big orators, the people who speak from the stage as well as have a lot of large followings, it makes you realize that these body languages as well as the commanding gestures that they use make a big difference. So quickly, let's move on to what is more important when I am looking at non-verbal communication and body language. Studies have actually told us that your appearance, your body language, your tone, and the pace of the voice carry more than half of your communication. You might think I've used the correct words, but it still did not make the same impact. The primary reason for that case is because the complete over persona of an individual makes a big difference. And that is where I'm going to give you small nuances of your appearance, of your body languages, the tones that you use, the pause that you do, and the pace that you use. So please understand, this is a complete framework of what a complete package looks like. So what we will do, we will pick up all the small nuances and proceed to each and every small detail. Yeah. Coming to the non-verbal aspect of communication, we just spoke about. Non-verbal actually is quite lasting in people's minds in terms of enthusiasm, in terms of sincerity. The first image that you see of somebody makes a lasting impression on your mind. What people really think is that I'm going only for a work. Nah, what do I need to do of my appearance? Why do I have to look a certain way or behave a certain way? I must tell you, your tone of the voice, your appearance gives a long lasting image in somebody's mind. For example, somebody is meeting you for the first time. You're representing a certain organization. Now the first thing that comes to their mind is that, does these organization people talk like this, react like this? Are these kind of people who I can really speak to? Are they so rude? Are they so aggressive? So you're not only carrying the burden of your own personality, but you are carrying the reputation of your organization. And that is why your non-verbal communication is equally important. The tone is equally important. Some people have a very sarcastic tone of asking a question, right? And that becomes a lot of impact on people that, okay, why should I answer you? Yeah, if you've asked me in such a sarcastic manner, why should I answer you? That is the fact. So communication is when the other person also responds the way you intended it to happen. And that is what we call about really successful and effective communication. Correct? So let's move on to the next thing that is important. People react to non-verbal communication very differently in different countries. I must tell you that when you're communicating, especially in the IT field and now with the globalizing sector, you have to be very careful of what gestures and tones you use, as well as some non-verbal cues are very important. Because in some countries, you will realize that a certain sign is taken very negatively. It's taken very, what you call, बहुत ही ज़्यादा गलत सोचेंगे. People will be like कि what kind of person is that? What kind of sign did he make to me? Right? I'll give you a small example on this story, that there was a friend of ours who was in Germany and he made the swastik sign at the time of Diwali in front of his home. You can imagine the people who are German realized or maybe felt that this guy is somebody who is actually a Hitler follower, a Nazi, as so as to say, and it became such a big issue there. So the small non-verbal communication, and for us, it is such a positive gesture. The gesture of that Satya sign is such a positive gesture. But if you imagine Different cultures, different people behave completely different for non-verbal communication. So that is very important. You keep in mind the cultural background. For example, if you're not aware, certain countries do not appreciate the V sign, that is, we talk about the sign of victory, not appreciate properly. For example, it's not taken in a positive sense. So non-verbal communication when you're trying to do is very, very important. I want to tell you a big joke here, that what the other country people talk about the Asian community in terms of non-verbal communication. I will tell you one situation. In India, whenever you ask somebody, do you want to eat food? They say yes. Do you want water? They say no. And the people who are from the other countries say that if you are telling me a yes or if you are telling me a no, you don't need to act. But in India, we have been tuned to act as well as speak. You must have noticed. A lot of people say, are you coming? No, no, I am not coming today. So this is an inbuilt feature that in Asia it's very, very common for us to behave combined. And that is a very funny thing that happens. So cultures make a lot of difference while you're communicating non-verbal. So be very careful when you're speaking to certain genre of the community and you do not create an issue.